This is a clip from my postcard to the PM and Chancellor. Never mind those full budgets, here comes the recovery. If you agree with the postcard, please share and/or contact your MP and ask them to view it and support unfreezing the personal allowance in the upcoming budget for the benefit of all. Thank you. Tax evasion is illegal and needs real enforcement. Lowering tax avoidance, I think, is more difficult. But if the behaviour of some of the wealthy, their accountants and their lawyers start changing, that will become the social norm. Transcending borders, the power of nomad capitalists. It's all in the name. Ethically reducing your tax rate. It may be ethical, but is it moral? We need wealth creators to stay here, make the UK a go-to destination for investment. But we want creators and companies to pay their fair share of tax. It's all about mindset. Let's compare these two lists. On the left is the tax list. On the right is the rich list. Both of them from 2024, and both of them are produced by the Sunday Times. Let's look at the tax list. Top of the list, Alex Gerko, Moscow-born maths whiz turned trader who has renounced his Russian citizenship. Bernie Ecclestone, number 2. Number 3, an interesting one, Denise, John and Peter Coates. Britain's richest self-made woman co-launched Bet365. Well, at least they're paying their taxes. But when Labour liberalised the gambling laws back in 2007, it's just another example of a government blunder. Let's just look at those top 2 again. While Gerko has said he is happy to pay a ton of taxes, the same may not be said of Ecclestone. His position in the tax list is due to a £652.6 million payment he made to HM Revenue and Customs to settle a decades-long battle over the tax on £400 million of offshore assets. Gerko's £664.5 million contribution is the highest sum ever to feature in the tax list and is equivalent to more than £1.8 million of tax a day, or £75,000 an hour. Slight aside, let's just have a look at one example of corporation tax and Amazon. I haven't got the 2024 figures for these, only the 2023. In 2023, I'll change that into pounds, their sales was 26.7 billion. On that, they only paid 18.7 million in corporation tax. Let's put that into perspective. Barry D. Hearn and family paid 18.4 million. They were 64th on our individuals list. That's where Amazon are. Interesting. Dan Needle, a former city lawyer and tax researcher whose investigations revealed millions in tax unpaid by the former Chancellor Nadhim Zahawi, said, "It's still the case that the seriously wealthy have an ability to avoid tax that the rest of us don't. And the most obvious route remains to leave the UK and move to Monaco right before a big payday. The fact that people on this list don't do that is credit to them. But it also shows that money isn't the most important thing, even if you have plenty of it. The one thing that the Times always say, absence from the tax list does not imply individuals are not paying their taxes, simply that the compilers have been unable to estimate how much they have paid to hit this year's minimum entry level." Sorry, this just landed in my inbox from Dan Needle from the Tax Policy Associates. Having just mentioned Amazon there, ITV News has published an investigation into Sky. Sky Bet relocates headquarters to Malta to slash its UK tax bill by as much as £55 million a year. We have to change behaviours. Which brings us to the rich list. 5 key facts about the rich list 2024. Average wealth, each of the top 10 is now £21 billion, up nearly 50% in 5 years. Top of the tree, as we had on the box block, Gopi Hinduja and family. The combined wealth of this year's list is 795 billion. Just to put that into perspective, combined wealth could pay 2/3 of the UK's public spending for a year. Looking at this pie chart, that's everything bar the big blue sector on the right and the orange one below it. The giving list, who gave away the most money? Sir Paul Marshall is at the top, but the 100 most philanthropic rich listers, which included Alan Parker and Sir Elton John, gave a total of £3.2 billion to charity. Sir Chris Hone gave away the most money, 600.9 million. Here's the nub. Where's the correlation between the tax list and the rich list? Okay, we've got our usual caveat on the fact that we can't get all the data, but actually there are only 2 people in the top 11 who appear on both lists. Why? There is absolutely no correlation between wealth and tax paid. So just these 2. However, same thing 3 years ago. Missing, the UK's richest who are absent from the Sunday Times top 10 taxpayers list. George Dibb. The publication of the Sunday Times tax list is an insight into the UK's broken tax system. Only one name from the top 10 of last year's rich list appears among those thought to be in the top 10 taxpayers. Oh well, I suppose we have actually doubled it because there are 2 this year. It's all about mindset. To start, we need more people like Alex Gerko who are happy to pay a ton of taxes, and all high wealth individuals and companies paying their fair share of tax. Let's get some positive correlation between the tax list and the rich list. Justice UK obviously know the tax system better than me, and their 10-point plan would massively support this country to reduce inequality. Their patriotic millionaire bus was about the place this week. Oh, how I wish you would give Boris's bus my personal allowance paint job. Imagine the feel-good factor. Let's get the ball rolling on point number 1 from Tax Justice UK, namely the 2% tax on assets over £10 million. Not in a mandatory way, in a voluntary equality tax way. Will they follow my lead and lower the national debt? Check out clip 15. Walking the Walk is up next.